we're going to do something a little bit different. Earlier today when I was fishing, I ran out of bait. Well, almost running out of bait. So we're going to make some more bait. It's really easy, actually. We're going to use some silver eggs that I got from a couple of years ago from fishing. They look terrible, but that's okay. What I'm going to do is take them out of this. Take them out of all these. I'm not going to trim them or nothing like that. Oh, these are gross. Ooh, they smell nasty. Get out of there. Okay, yeah. Come on. There we go. One. Kool-Aid. Salt. Doesn't really matter how much. You can let these soak for as long as you want. You know, it's whatever. Ew, it's leaking. This would be the nastiest Kool-Aid on the planet. Oh, that's gross. Break these up a little bit. There's some color left in these still, so that's good. Oh no, my stuff blown away. No. Okay. No, it doesn't want to open up for some reason. That's fine, whatever. That one does. All my stuff's blown away. Absolutely everything is. There we go. Now it's open. All right. Oh, that's nasty. I mean, it could smell a lot worse than that, but still. Something to cure these eggs on. I didn't know there was still charcoal in that. Plastic bag with the prior batch of eggs in it would be fine. Okay. That part started. Now we can do the other part. this nasty shit in here. How's it going, everybody? Making bait. I'm just combining 2 of my old batches of bait into one, and then I'm gonna make row sacks for trout and char fishing. So it's a pretty gross process. And he already left. Don't care. Okay. I was. Oh, that's the row sack I was missing. How you doing? I'm making bait for trout and char fishing right now. Just combining 2 batches and making another new one with some of my old dye and stuff. Some of it's probably blood, but not all of it. Okay, that's good to go. I still didn't get a knife. How's it going? I have to run into the house and grab a knife real quick. Take a look at the tree for a second. How's it going? I had to run inside and get scissors. Okay. While these eggs are soaking in here, I'm making another batch of bait. I'm gonna tie up these ones in row sacks. How's it going today? Where are you from? How's it going today? Excuse me. Make a tiny one with this. How's it going today? I'm making row sacks for trout fishing. How's it going on, everybody? Trout and Arctic char, mostly. Anything will bite onto these if they feel like it. Right now I'm starting one batch and I'm finishing another of two separate ones. That's a tiny one. I was meant to use that because there's another one up here. Come on, there we go. Okay. It's quite soft. So just cut it like that. How's it going today? I'll tie it like this. There's two different ways you can tie these things if you actually didn't know, the one person that's watching. The first one I tied like this, where you get a knot, you twist it on the top, you tie it, and then you cut the end off. And this one, well, this way is I got a little bit too much material here. So I'm going to roll it. We'll fold it in half and then roll it. It's where the eggs are in the middle like that. Twist it. Kind of like it's a sausage link. You want to over twist one side and then it'll twist the other side. Then you want to tie the two ends together in the middle like that. Or retry it and do it again just like I'm doing now because I'm dumb. Come on. This stuff is really sticky, like it sticks to everything. Don't tie it too tight. Tie it once. Come on. Stupid things. I don't know what that was. Tie it again. Don't drop your scissors. Cut your ends off. That's it. You've learned something, like and subscribe. Time to do this another 20-something times. I'm going to be making these in varying degrees of thickness. So All right. This one I can make a little bit bigger. Sometimes I will make really tiny ones if I need to, but not all the time. Oh, sorry, I haven't. I've looked at the chat. Largest trout I ever caught was actually a 30-inch trout, a 30-inch rainbow trout on the Russian River. I caught it completely by accident. My buddy handed me his fly fishing rod because he was going to take a piss out the side of the boat, and I hooked onto a fish, and I didn't know what to do. So he said, "Start bringing the fish in." So I started pulling the slack line like I had to reel the fish in. He's like, "No, reel the damn fish in like you normally do, you dumbass." That was a fun trip. That was actually what these eggs in here are from. How's it going, Noah? If you're still watching. One. This is not a clean job by any means. This is kind of gross for a lot of people, but I'm okay with it. I worked with fish my whole life. Nothing about fish grosses me out. Unless it's really like nasty, rotten fish. That does gross me out. 3. How's it going, everybody? Okay. Let's see if this works this way. After a while, your hands are gonna get sticky. If this roll is wet, it's impossible to use. Like this got wet at one point, and I could not tie a bag of these for the life of me. It was impossible. I was out ice fishing. It was terrible. My hands were cold. Everything was wet. It was late towards the season. It kind of sucked, but it was fun. It was still fun. We still caught fish. If you're wondering what happens to be in here, these are silver eggs that I got that I caught from a fishing trip from a couple of years ago, actually, that I'm going to be making in some more bait. And I'm letting I have a mixture of Kool-Aid, water, and salt in there right now. Putting a little bit more red color back into the eggs, and then I'm going to take them out, drain the liquid off, and cure them with some more salt, Kool-Aid, and one or two other things. But that bait over there that's inside of there is proven to be like better than a trout magnet. You could say it's more like it's a trout buffet, basically. Arctic char buffet too. They love that. They love this stuff. For some reason, char like to bite onto stuff that's red or looks like trout, but that's because they probably eat each other. Does Kool-Aid actually work for bait? Hell yeah, Kool-Aid works for bait. You ever heard of anybody fishing for bass down in the lower 48? I live in Alaska, so that's what we call the continental United States is lower 48. And it's the same. The basically the same thing goes for when people use gummy worms or gummy bears as bait for bass. The citric acid and malic acid the scent spreads out in the water really far, and it carries the scent quite far, and it tastes good. So it just happens that the fish like it. Maybe the sour taste has something to do with the taste of stress in fish when they're injured or something like that. Because you know how you let fish suffocate for too long unless they're on ice, and the fish gets all the fish can get kind of sour afterward. Same kind of thing, but amplify it. Oh, that was too big. Actually, I'll make this a small one. Anybody got any questions for me? I live in Alaska, so I go fishing all the time up here. So if you got like salmon questions or whatever, I'm not a fishing expert, but I love fishing and I have a lot going on with fish. I worked with fish my entire life. I'm a commercial fish cutter. Currently, I work in a fish market. I'm not going to say the name of them because they don't pay me to advertise, and they barely pay me at all now. So, yeah, it's a hard knock life for us. We all work for pieces of shit. Unless you own your own business, then you're good, kind of. Anybody got any questions for me? I love answering questions. It's nice to interact with people that are not from around town, or just looking to buy fish off of me or make my day kind of suck. Anybody that works in retail knows exactly what I'm talking about. How's it going today? Anybody that's new here? If you're wondering how strong these row sacks may be, these things are really tough. Like, if you put these onto a worm hook, they're really hard to rip off. Like like when you bunch up duct tape and then you try to rip it, it's like impossible to rip. This is the exact same concept. I am tying these a little tight, but that's okay. I don't expect these eggs to hold on to color scent for too long at a time. So, when they're ready to get changed, they're ready to get changed. That's how it is. How's it going? Man, I can't tie this one. Come on. Fat fingers. Made this one a little bit too short then. Whatever. Okay. How's it going, everybody? Anybody got any fishing questions or seafood related questions for me? I also have a canoe that I'm waiting on some stuff to come in, including rod holders that I want suggestions on for modifications for either more pleasure or more safety purposes. It's not a flat back. It's a 15-foot plastic canoe made by Coleman. It has a weight limit of 597. And it's red. 2-seater. Anybody got any suggestions for me? Я понимаю русский толик. Yo habla español. Very little. If you were to buy this on the street, that would look even more suspicious than buying the same shape but a white powdery substance. This would be terrible. Like I'd be really afraid of that drug. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, you understand. Whatever. But yeah, people up here, I got the idea for Kool-Aid specifically from a native guy that I used to work with. And he was telling me that people in his village, by native I mean Native Alaskan, people in his village would soak their eggs with Kool-Aid and a couple other things. And fish would basically just flock to it and it would be nonstop. So I've done the same thing, and I love it. I was fishing earlier, but the fish just were not biting, and it wasn't just me, so nobody was catching fish, which is fine. I was using a different set of eggs. And there we go. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, nobody was catching fish, which is fine. You know how it is. Does anybody have any questions for me? Like, what am I using on the table here? What am I going to be fishing for? What's my social security number? If you guys want to troll me, you can go ahead. I don't care about that. I have a good sense of humor. Best bait for brackish? Well, brackish on what coast, what water, and what time of year? Hell, brackish water up here will give you some seriously mixed results. Or brackish water in like Louisiana or Florida will give you all kinds of good stuff. So that's a really you gotta be a little more specific than that. Oh man, that's a very broad question, right? That's a very broad question right there. Well, if you're gonna talk, the experience I have is in brackish water in Alaska and the Southeast. When you're fishing for brackish water in the Southeast, if you want to catch channel cats, you can use everything. Especially if you're fishing on the bottom. If you want to catch like snapper, grouper, some of the pickier fish, you got to use live bait. Black grouper, they like to eat live. They like to eat live, little live snapper. They like to eat all kinds of stuff, anything live. You catching yourself a 3-pound red drum, that's pretty damn good. Did it have a lot of black spots on it? The ones I used to see usually would have a really large black spot on the tail and lots of little ones. I've seen some people where they would have like leopard spots on them damn things. They're pretty cool. It's good fish to eat too. There's a couple companies in the U.S. that are farm raising them because you can't really keep them in some places. Like I remember when I was fishing down in Alabama, the law at that time was it was catch and release only for redfish. Well, red drum, that we call them redfish too. Just one on the tail, okay. Nothing wrong with that. How hard did it fight? There's a lot of people that fish for a long time and never catch any redfish, so that's pretty cool. I'd say the biggest fish I ever caught, but I had to release it, was, I think it was a 3 or 4 foot, like little bull shark off the coast of Florida somewhere, and that was pretty cool. I was on the beach, and it just took my shit, and it just went crazy. What part of the country are you fishing in? Virginia. Okay, you probably got... Oh. You might have... I doubt you're going to have an Atlantic salmon run that far south. Let me think. You're definitely in the market for sharks at that point. Probably when the tide's coming in. Oh boy. I don't know too much about Virginia fish, to be honest with you. Oh boy. It's hard to think all of that top of my head. Like my main my main skill set is in cutting fish. When it comes to something like that, there's very few fish I actually don't know how to fillet. Like mostly concerning commercially available stuff. Like tuna, mahi, grouper, snapper. Oh shit, swordfish, redfish. We wouldn't really cut black drum at all. Flounder, hog snapper. 25-pound carp. That's pretty dope, dude. I've seen some people do some really crazy bait setups for carp, and I'm just like, people talk so much shit about carp, but they're willing to have a whole bucket of bread and a big ass weight and 2 fucking hooks just to catch one carp, and then they talk a bunch of shit and they release it. Like, come on, man. Be consistent. My biggest freshwater fish, well, besides the one time I hooked onto a gator by accident, that was scary. I don't know how big it was. I only saw its head, but it somehow got the mouth out. Somehow got the hook out of its mouth. My biggest freshwater fish is probably a 10-pound silver salmon. And that was pretty cool. Salmon are weird. Like when they fight like hell when they're in salt water, but when they're running into fresh and you hook them just right in the mouth, they like silver salmon. They just give up. Like they straight up give up. They're just like, okay. Spanish mackerel, croaker, flounder. Croakers are pretty good to eat. Never caught them. Flounder, I love eating flounder. That's one of the few fish I actually really enjoy cooking whole, especially the really tiny ones. You can just cut the head off, gut them, scale them, and score them, bread them, and fry them, or just barbecue them. They're pretty damn good. Spanish mackerel, I can take it or leave it. I know you can. I'm not too sure if you guys have pompano there, but I know you can catch pompano in brackish water. I've caught pompano by mistake in brackish. They're usually gonna be tiny. They won't be swimming in schools, but they'll still be good to eat. How's everybody doing today? Where are you guys from? All 50 people that are here. What's going on? A lot of plastic waste from this, but that's okay. Wish I had a use for this, for all this, like, wasted egg sack here. Got quite a few of these things. All right, we're almost done with this, then we're going to move on to something else later. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, pompano you can catch. Those are really good to eat. The only pompano I have access to up here is actually farm-raised pompano. And the only real difference with it is the farm-raised stuff is going to have a bigger head to it, and the skin's going to be different. But the rest of it is going to be about the same. The fish might be a little bit fatter because, you know, they're in an ideal, quote, ideal condition. So they're going to have a little more meat on them. And they probably might have a little bit more diluted flavor, but they're almost the same. They cut pretty much the same too. They might be a little bit more firm because they've been a little bit more taken care of. But pompano is great to eat. I actually have a video on where I cut and cook pompano. If you want to look for it, I can't remember which one it was. It was I think it's... I don't really remember. It's not important. You can just look on my channel. It's okay. If anybody here needs help cutting fish or getting better at it, I can definitely be a help to you with that. I'm actually a professional fish cutter at my job. Well, at a fish market. But I know a lot of shit about fish. So if you guys want to take a look at my channel and subscribe, you can go right ahead. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty nice of you. Oh, that mic is so loud sometimes. But yeah, I'm in Anchorage, Alaska. It's about 40 degrees outside. Wind's blowing a little bit. It's beautiful. And I'm making trout and char bait with a little bit of egg I got left. My hands get a little bit cold, but that's okay. I'm used to it. All right, it's the last one. All righty. Okay. But does anybody have any fish questions for me, or fishing or seafood questions? I can give you a lot of answers. I can give you pretty much any answer you want concerning seafood and like filleting fish techniques and questions and stuff like that. Fish, when it comes to fishing itself, it's kind of limited to where I've lived. But last thing I'm ever going to do is give you a bunch of false information just to give you some type of answer. I have no reason to lie to anybody. Even if I was getting paid to do this, I still wouldn't do it. Because eventually somebody will find out. That's how lies work. Well, that's how lies get exposed. Stupid. Okay. Quite a few of these. Okay. Put those in there too. Oh, my back. All right. Now back on to this. These are real nasty, but it's okay. I did something similar to this in a previous video that I made, but well, partially nobody's actually seen the damn thing. And secondly, I forgot what I was saying. Man, I'm thirsty. Jeez. How's it going, everybody? Trying to catch 40-pound redfish. That's pretty dope, man. I mean, I'm not sure how you're gonna find a 40-pounder. I don't know what the laws are in Virginia, but you know, there's a lot of places that have a lot of over/under laws, and those things can be a real pain in the ass and kind of finicky depending on what you're targeting and what state you're in and what waters you're in. And obviously, if you don't have the right tags, you can get slapped with some serious fines and get all your stuff taken by Fish and Game. That's how it is up here. If you get caught keeping king salmon and you don't have a king tag, oh man, you're in for a really bad day. Your day's gonna suck. You will have all your stuff confiscated. You'll be fined probably up to $5,000, and you're gonna be crying the entire way home if depending on how serious the infraction is, they could even confiscate your car. It'd be unbelievable. Okay. Since we got all the eggs on here, I have Kool-Aid mix with some extra sugar in this. Just mixed in because I couldn't quite get it right. I do this by taste. My hands are all kind of nasty, but you want this to basically taste like candy. Not too sour, but a pretty good amount of sugar. Now, I'm going to take about half of this or so. Sprinkle it on. I want to cover as much of the surface as I can, but I don't want to rub it in. And then I'm going to add salt. The reason why I add the salt, obviously to draw the excess moisture out, but then and you can add quite a bit of this because you're going to need it. But when I'll show you when to add the rest of it. Because I add a little bit now and then I add a lot more later. And I'll show you why. But it's going to draw the moisture out. Then when you put it in the water, the salt's going to the eggs are going to reabsorb the moisture, and then they're going to swell up a lot. When they swell up, they're going to start to release more scent into the water, and it's going to travel farther. In Virginia, are you required to have a fishing license? Because I know in some states, depending on your age or other factors, I'm also going to put garlic powder on this. Stock trout love garlic for some reason. I don't know why. They probably go well because they go well with garlic. Probably, I really don't know. But anyway, you can put this on here quite heavily. Now, don't rub this in. Just let it sit on there. Yeah, it looks messy, but it's okay. You're still gonna cut more of this into. And I still end up. I just end up cutting it more into little chunks and then put it into the bags like this. Okay. Flip them all over. It's not going to look perfect right now, but that's okay. More Kool-Aid. You can see how red this is turning in now. It's turning to the red that it's supposed to be. Well, kind of. Silver eggs have a little bit lighter color for salmon eggs. They're not like red. They're not like red salmon eggs where they're really freaking red, like super red. But yeah, you really should have a fishing license, like just in case. You really don't want to get stuck by fishing game. For one thing, it's embarrassing. At the same time, you kind of feel bad because fishing licenses are so cheap sometimes. Again, depending on the state you're in and what your situation is, whether you're a resident or not. Salt. Okay. Oh, and I have a canoe, and I was also looking at the live stream to see what sort of safety features people would recommend for a more new canoer. New canoer. But I have some stuff that's on the way. I have some stuff that's on the way to make canoeing a bit safer. And so pretty soon I'll be able to stream from my canoe, which I know everybody would like, which I'll also have access to a lot more fish. I would like to be able to do, that'd be cool if I can do those once or twice a week, but we'll see. Okay. Let all this garlic stuff set on here. No worries. How's everybody doing today? Oh boy. Let that sit on there for a minute. Empty this stuff out. Because that's gross. All right. Now, the part that everybody else skipped because they left the stream is I'm putting salt on the bottom of that. Then I'm going to put more salt on these. But this is when you add a lot more of it because you want them to be covered. Pat them on there. Set that one in. Set that in. Set that in there. Oh, no, I'm absolutely not eating these. No, I'm using these as bait. These eggs have been in my freezer for about 3 years. I thought I used all my eggs when I made this batch of eggs over here in the very first YouTube video that I made for this channel. And yeah, these are not meant for, these are not suitable. These are not meant for human consumption. These are meant to be converted into other forms of food. But if I was going to eat these, I would probably die. And now you got to put a bunch more salt on top of them. The reason why I'm using so much salt is because I'm also going to put the rest of, all this nasty stuff in here. Plus, I would not have my food touch this. That'd be nasty. If I was eating these, I would have you would have every reason to make fun of me for the rest of my life. If these are brand new and fresh, hell yeah, I'd be eating these on stream. These would be delicious. But no, not right now. Excuse me. And the final part, just shake it and get all the salt in there. You all get the salt to cover all the surfaces of everything. See? Now, you gotta let these sit for a couple of days. Let the moisture come out of them because there's quite a bit of moisture in this. This is really heavy for its size. And it's even heavier now because there's salt and other shit on here. But even that little clump, like that little clump of like liquid almost, I can form that into a ball. If I dry this out, that's another piece of bait for me right there, and it's all the same. It's gonna smell and taste the same as this. So, yeah. Sit these out, set this outside for a couple of days. If you live in a hot climate, it might only take 1 day. For me, it might take about 4 or 5 because it's, about 40 degrees outside. So, yeah. Let me show you guys my canoe. How about that? Now, this right here is my 15-foot Coleman canoe. Don't worry about all this stuff. That wooden block right there I'm going to use is what's called my bonker block, which is basically when you bring fish in that you're going to keep and you want to hit them on the head, like something that has a harder head like a bass or pike or whatever. Basically take your little mallet, put the head on that, hit him on the head, so that way you don't hit the bottom of the boat. I'm going to put my tripod in the middle more than likely. I haven't decided where I want to put that yet. I'd like to be able to put chairs in the middle for my girlfriend and I to be able to cast and fish in opposite directions. We're gonna fit a cooler in here. We're gonna be able to fit all of our poles, and we're probably gonna be able to get a net in there. Oh boy. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun time. In the next couple of weeks, I'll be able to stream on the boat and bring you some and fish in a bigger lake with a lot more fish and much bigger fish in it and different types of fish, not just rainbow trout and maybe king salmon if there's any left. But yeah, for me, this is probably going to take about 4 days. So by the time the live stream I do on a boat comes out, these are probably going to be the eggs I'm using. And I'll have egg bags tied again by then. I'll probably be able to tie these ones up by then, but we'll see. Anyway, if you're still here, you should probably subscribe. So, put some more salt in there. It'd be really cool if I get monetized, so that way I can do this all the time. I mean, I could do this 8 hours a day, no problem at all. This would be fun. Well, not this exactly, but you understand what I'm saying. Anyway, I hope everybody has a wonderful day. I'm Starvin. Hope you learned something. Subscribe. Bye-bye.